Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your testimony and your service to our nation. I want to begin on submarines. I was at the commissioning of the Iowa on Saturday. As always, with all the commissionings and christenings, a stirring and moving event, and a tribute to the great workforce at EB. I was talking to Mark Rea. I'm sure you're familiar with him, and he seemed pretty optimistic about the progress on hiring enough of the skilled workforce that are necessary in the thousands. Is that your assessment as well, Rear Admiral Rucker?
Thanks for the question, sir, and good to see you again. Good seeing you at the Iowa on Saturday. I will applaud you for being able to make it up there, given your schedule, I know. Yes, sir, I would agree. From 2022 to 2023, we saw across both shipbuilders about a 41% increase in their hiring. And in 2024, they pretty much met their goals. Our challenge now is to continue to work with them on their attrition. Those rates have come down since 2022. However, they're still higher than they need to be, especially in the 1 to 2 year workforce range. And so that's an effort that we are working together with them to address.
Is there anything you would recommend our doing in the NDAA to make possible or make more likely that workforce, meeting that workforce challenge?
Yes, sir. There are multiple things that we're doing, so I appreciate the question. I would say the workforce is one of the number one things that is needed to be able to build the submarines and aircraft carriers. Wages is one of the top things, and so appreciate Congress's continued support and the funding that came in the emergency supplemental. The $5.7 billion of that, about $520 million of that is specifically to go after wages on current contracts across all three of our programs. And that's something as we move forward, we can hopefully be able to continue to do that so we can pay the people that do the work what they need to, should earn and deserve to earn.
They're in the midst, or they're beginning contract negotiations with a number of their unions, I believe, and I think that's very important to meet the goals and challenges of their workers in an era of rising prices and possibly even higher prices in the future. Let me ask you, if I may, on the subject of cost. Both the Columbia-class and the Virginia-class programs depend on nuclear-grade skill, high-yield steel alloys, other kinds of extremely specialized materials coming from a supply base that has shrunk over the last few years. I think in the 1980s there were 17,000 suppliers. Today there are around 5,000. Will tariffs impact the costs of producing our nuclear submarines?
Senator, thank you for that question. As I'm sure you're aware, the vast majority of the components that go, certainly into the Columbia class, but also the Virginia class, are American-made components. The Navy anticipates that there may be some cost increases associated with tariffs. However, it's really too early to be able to assess what those might be.
I'm sorry, maybe it's going to be up to the suppliers to determine what the... No,
sir. I mean, the Navy, as we have worked together with industry to evaluate what the, as costs change and go up or go down, depending on what market you're talking about. Again, it's all sort of rides, all the things we procure for the, certainly in the commodity space, like steel and things like that, really do ride on kind of what the market is, right? And so as the things sort of ebb and flow, our ability to work together with industry to be able to evaluate what the impact would be to our program specifically.
So we really don't know at this point?
We do not know, yes, sir.
Let me ask you, what is the timetable for the Columbia currently being constructed and the next two, if you can tell us?
Yes, sir. So lead ship District of Columbia, right now we are projecting it to be 12 to 18 months late to contract. However, we're taking action right now to accelerate and recover as much schedule as we possibly can. The second ship, Wisconsin, is currently on schedule. So we're on schedule to deliver that ship at the 80-month contract. The next 5 ships we're really in the early construction phase of those, so we have not yet, we're not in a position yet to be able to evaluate where they are relative to the delivery schedule. However, all the activities that we have going on right now are all on track.
So just to be more precise, the Columbia will be ready in about 2027?
Sir, it'll be closer to 2029.
2029?
Yes, sir.
And the next, the Wisconsin, what year?
So Wisconsin will deliver in 2032, but I will.
2032?
Yes, sir.
And the one after that, the Groton?
So that, sir, would be in 2034.
2034. Let me, I recognize I'm out of time, Mr. Chairman. Maybe if we have a second round and I can stay, I'll come back with more questions. Thank you.